Madam, I'm going to take you to paragraph.
Lady, I'm sure if we deal with the statement, the witness should have a statement in front of her.
It's not in front.
I think it was sent to for the benefit of the interpreter.
I think both the interpreter and the witness ought to have a statement.
Yeah, if they can both have a look at it, then I don't have a problem.
I thought she was working through the interpreter. That one or two statements the same. Thank you, madam. I want you to look at paragraph 6. It says that your husband went to the balcony again. You see that?
Yes, my lady, I see that.
Ek hoor die vrou gil.
I heard the woman scream.
You see that?
Yes, my lady, I see that.
What we don't see like we go to your previous parts in your statement, we don't see the plural, gille. We don't see blood curdling. We don't see a build-up in anxiety. It is a plain, ek hoor die vrou gil, meaning I hear her scream. That's all. Do you agree?
My lady, with that, it implies I heard her shout. I heard her screaming. I heard her scream.
Yes.
I didn't say I heard one scream. I said I heard her scream.
Yes. Gil is a scream. Gille, the plural, screams. Doesn't matter. That's not the point that I'm making. Where is this? You now there sitting with Captain van Aert.
I actually object, my lady, and I was contemplating not. What counsel put to the witness, it's semantics, but it's not right. It's impossible to say in Afrikaans, ek hoor die vrou gille.
Ja, dankie.
It's impossible to do. Ek hoor die vrou gil means plural or singular.
Ja.
But you can't say ek hoor die vrou gille. That cannot be, and that was what was put.
Maybe that's not the point that I'm driving to. Can I make the point?
Yes.
That was now, you've got a doctorate, it's not immediately after the incident, you sit with a very experienced investigating officer, and at the very least, I would have expected to say, Captain van Aert, let me tell you, this time around, it was blood curdling, it was the anxiety, there was a build-up of anxiety. It's not there. All it says, ek hoor die vrou gil. You agree?
I'm explaining to the lady. I'm explaining to the court today what are the emotions that I heard. The facts I gave here in this testimony of mine.
But if you had given the emotions to Captain van Aert, he would have reduced that to writing and he would have put it in outside.
Lady,
You're sitting here.
Lady, I'm sure Captain van Aert, if he gets to testify, will be able to testify my emotions that evening, and that it was emotional for me what I heard.
It's not about your emotions. It's about what you're telling him. That's what I'm driving to. It is what you told him at the time and what you did not tell him. And that's why I keep on saying his experience, and we know him. He would write down what you're telling him. What you did not tell him, it was this far more serious, far more anxious, blood-curdling screams. That patently, when you made your statement 1 month after the event, you did not tell him that.
Milady, the statement is written over here as I heard it. I did say to Captain van Aert when we started speaking that evening about the emotion in her voices and the blood-curdling fear I heard in her voices, he'll be able to testify that I said it. Yes. We spoke about it before we did this.
Yes, I can take you to paragraph 3. We can go there. Where you say it was an angsel. You put that in. That's paragraph 3.
Where exactly are you?
I apologize, my lady. Away from paragraph 6, where she says she put in emotions. If I took her to paragraph 3 of her statement,
Yes.
where she says, gedurende die nag het ek wakker geword. I woke up with a woman that was screaming, and that was, she used the word angst, that anxiety, that fear. That's where you put it. It's there. So you wrote it down. Now, we can just debate this. It's as easy as that. What I put to you, if you had told in paragraph 6 before the shooting, Captain van Aert, that this was not only screaming, it was something more. It was that now increasing anxiety. He would have put it in, not so.
Milady, maybe when we wrote down this testimony, I didn't put that word right before I said gilla, which means screams. But I did note to Captain van Aert the emotion in the voice of that woman when we had our discussion before we did the testimony. In the testimony, I wanted to portray the shouts, the anxiety, and the shots.
It's far more than that. The anxiety was dramatic. It makes you cold. The anxiety in her voice was blood curdling. Nothing stopped you at the time from telling Captain van Aert.
Milady, Captain van Aert will be able to testify. When we had our discussion, I did say to him, it was terrible. It was blood curdling.
Yes. Now let's go to the second part of that statement. We read it. I heard the woman scream, and then, and two,
Where's that one?
and then 4 shots.
Wait,
So this is Captain van Aert again. He didn't write down what you were telling me. Is that what you say?
No, milady, when we did the statement, I did say I heard her shouting, and moments after that I heard the shots and her shouting.
Was that the truth?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Was that the truth?
I spoke the truth to Captain van Aert.
Yes. Why did you not do it in court?
I did speak the truth in court
Did
as
you
well.
not say that during the shooting she was screaming?
I said so just now, milady. I emphatically stated that the shots started. I heard her voice. I could not state when with those shots did I hear exactly her voice. Was it with 1, 2, 3 and 4, or when exactly? But I said just moments after the last shot was the last I heard her voice. It wasn't long after. It was just after that.
Madam, just read your own statement, please, and tell me what it says. It says, I heard the woman scream, and then 4 shots. Do you see that?
Yes, milady, I see that.
What does that mean? Just that what you're saying there. What does that mean?
It means when I speak about the shots, there were 4 shots. Later in the paragraph, I speak about the screaming again.
You know what I'm talking about. We can spend time on it. I'm talking during the shots.
I've checked. The witness answered. She said, later in the paragraph, I spoke about this again. So she answered the question. She answered the question and said, later in the paragraph, I spoke about it again. That should be taken up.
Yes, Mr. Roux.
Yes, my lady. Show me later in the paragraph where you said that during the firing of the shots at that time she was screaming. Please show me that.
After I stated there were 4 shots.
Which paragraph is that?
It's
Still
paragraph 6.
6.
Thank you.
The lady, then after I spoke about the shots, I said the lady shouted the last time approximately 2 seconds after the last shot, and after that I didn't hear anything again.
Read that properly, please.
I said the woman gave the last screaming approximately 2 seconds after the shot stopped.
Yes, after the shot stopped, she gave a last scream.
That's the last time I heard her.
Yes. Show me where during the firing of the shots she was screaming, please.
I didn't say she only shouted after the last shot. I said the last time I heard her, the last time was after the last shot. And I'm now stating to the court exactly that while the shot started, I heard her, there were 4 shots, I heard her. I can't state exactly with which one of the 4 shots, but the last time I heard her was shortly after the last shot.
We're dealing with a different question. In your evidence today, you said that during the firing of the shots, she was screaming. You remember that?
I heard her voice, yes.
She was screaming. Now show me in this paragraph. Here you're quite clear. She screamed and then 4 shots, and then you say after the last shot, about 2 seconds after the last shot, she screamed. Sy gee 'n gil. She's after the last shot.
Lady, the last time I heard her was shortly after the last shot.
Yes.
Captain,
My lady, I have to object, but I'm willing for the witness to leave the court, so that I don't put words in her mouth.
Yes.
And I think it's perhaps fair, and I'll be that fair, but I want to discuss this paragraph and what was said.
Please leave the court for a while. Call you when you're ready for you.
My lady, my objection is this. We're tasking the witness on a contradiction which is not in this paragraph. If one reads this paragraph, it says, I heard the woman scream, then shots. The last time she screamed was after the shots.
Then if that is the meaning of the paragraph, I'd rather have that paragraph on record in Afrikaans.
Indeed.
If that's how it reads. Yes.
That paragraph should be, because that's how I interpret it in Afrikaans. And it reads, my lady, my man is weer uit na die balkon. Then it says, ek hoor die vrou gil. En toe 4 skote. Then she describes the shots. Daar was 'n pose van ongeveer 2 sekondes vanaf die eerste skoot na die tweede skoot, en toe die skote direk na mekaar gevolg. She described the shots. Die vrou het die laaste gil gegee. I heard her scream. The last scream was 2 seconds nadat die skote opgehou. So there's a continuation, but we're putting this to the witness as a contradiction. And it's not a clear-cut contradiction. We have to be fair to the witness with the utmost respect. There's a continuation between the scream, I heard a woman scream, then shots, and just as statements go, I explained the shots, but the last scream was after the shot stopped. There's no indication that it's a new scream. So, my lady, I understand what Mr. Roo is doing, but we should just be fair to the witness.
So what you are saying, there's an implication. It's implied that there were shots fired during.
Yes.
I mean the screams.
Yes, it's a scream.
Yes.
Explain the shots in the last scream. By implication, that's my interpretation.
Or you're saying that doesn't mean that there were no screams.
Exactly. But let me rather go there, my lady, and I think that's perhaps more fair as counsel to say. That doesn't mean that there were no shots. And I'll leave it with that, and I think that's fair, my lady.
Yes.
I cannot say that how I interpret it, but the way the court summarized it is my version.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Roo?
We don't need to give interpretations.
We know it's not there. It's not
there,
in
my
there.
lady. All that
Yes.
should have been there, and that's the
Yes.
only point I'm making.
Yes.
All that should have been there. During the firing of the shots,
Yes.
I heard her screaming.
Yes.
That's the only point I'm making.
Yes.
It's not there.
No,
That
I
was
understand you.
evidence.
What I'm thinking now, maybe it's something for argument.
Yes, my lady, but
Yes.
I wanted to put it to her that it's not there because that I need that on record.
All right. Thank you. Yes,
Can you call her back, my lady?
yes, the witness may come back. Thank you. You're still under oath?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Roo?
What was also interesting, madam, is that during your evidence in chief, you did not make mention of any yell, any scream after the boom, 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 boom. Why is that?
Sorry, my lady, did you say, what was the beginning of your question? I couldn't hear you.
Let me explain to you what it means. When Mr. Nell presented your evidence and you testified, one thing you did not do, you referred to the boom, 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 boom and whatever intervals or whatever sequence, but after that you made no mention of the woman screaming. No mention.
My lady, I think Advocate Nell asked me what happened after that, and then I explained when my husband came back. So if I did not mention it then, I would like to mention it now.
Did you forget it at the time?
No, I did not forget what happened. It's clear to me.
Now, I was curious when I asked you on 2 occasions, could there have been shots fired before you woke up? And you were absolutely to the point saying no. How come you said no? You were sleeping.
My lady, I just know of 4 shots that took place that evening, and I heard those 4 shots. So if there were other shots before I woke up, I don't know about it, and I don't think it was presented to court that there were more than 4 shots that evening.
So you say, with your ex post facto knowledge, what you heard afterwards, there were only 4 shots.
I heard 4 shots.
You say afterwards, you were told that only 4 shots were fired, and you heard 4.
My lady, what I'm referring to is during the pre-trial on the radio also, the defense stated they also say there were 4 shots. I heard 4 shots. No one else mentioned that there were 8 shots or 10 shots that evening. I only heard people speaking about 4. I heard 4 shots. So I couldn't have heard other shots before I woke up because I only heard 4 shots. And that I heard after the call I made. So there couldn't have been other shots. That's all I heard. I can only state what I heard to the court. I heard 4 shots.
Let's look, and I can't say they're telling the truth. Mr. Nell must call them, and we will call witnesses just to test it. Because the police in its investigation managed to get a number of statements from people in the neighborhood, in that same estate, and then of course your statement as well. And to test the reliability of your evidence, and again, you know, they may be all lying. Captain van Aert may have manipulated his statements, I don't know. So I can't stand in for the truth of that. But let's go through it, and I would like to invite your comment to it. There's a witness, Mr. Stipp. He's a radiologist. He says in his statement, and I'm just dealing now with shots and could be interpreted as shots. That's where I'm going. But what I'm going to do before I deal with that, and I know you don't believe him because you said his statement that the boat could not be, but hear me out for a second, without being judgmental. Just hear me out. His version is the following. He fired 4 shots. At some point in time, when he realized that it might have been Reeva, and when he realized the devastation caused by it, he was screaming for help, and he was screaming. He opened the doors, even the slide doors, to scream. And after that, not all the details, trying to kick the door, first put his legs on, trying to kick the door, he bashed the door with the cricket bat so hard that he broke the door. He hit it 3 times. That he can remember, 3 times. We have experts with state. We have the pieces of the door. We have the cricket bat. We have experts saying that the damage to the door was consistent with the cricket bat. So we know that. So that is where I'm going to. And we know that, and I put it to you, it's a long sentence and I apologize for it, that on test people will say that the bashing of the door would resemble, when you hear from a distance gunshot, it's hard. Dwah! You understand? It's not soft hitting. You hit the door to break. You understand that? So with that in mind, there's Mr. Stipp, the radiologist. He may be wrong. He woke up by hearing 3 shots. Could have been 4, but we know it's 3. The man was sleeping. Then there's a time delay. He heard the man screaming. Help, help, help. You heard that, the man screaming.
I heard the man screaming after I heard the woman screaming.
Yeah, you heard the woman screaming and then you heard the man screaming, one following the other. And he was also anxious, I assume.
The emotion in the voice was a bit different. She was fear-stricken.
But was it just a help, 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 I'm pretending help, or was it shouting for help?
I won't be able to say. I mean, that question, milady, we'll have to ask Mr. Pistorius for that.
Yes.
But what I heard was help, help, help. I heard that.
And I
Maybe I feel terrible, but I have to object. I've got Mr. Stipp's statement in front of me, and the way it was put to the witness is not true. I'm sure Mr. Roux is trying to paraphrase, but the way I read it, ek het 3 weerskote gehoor, het was kort na mekaar, ek het onmiddellik uit die bed opgestaan en na die kamerbalkon gegaan, ek het onmiddellik nadat ek op die balkon gekom het, gehoor hoe 'n vrou gil. Daar was ongeveer 3 gille. There's nothing that was now put to this witness, my lady.
What was the question again?
I worked with Mr. Stipp's, I'm sorry, I worked with Mr. Stipp's explanation to a witness, Johan Stander. Let me get the other one. My mistake. He also made a statement to Mr. Stander about it. Let me correct that. I apologize. That's indeed so. Let me...
And it might also be a good idea just to say it in Afrikaans, what it says.
Yes, Maroon.
And then that will be translated
It was the
into
one,
English.
yes, I will do that.
Yes.
Now, let me take you...
It implies I heard her shout. I heard her screaming. I heard her scream.
Yes,
I didn't say I heard one scream. I said I heard her scream.
yes. Gil is a scream. Gille, the plural, screams. Doesn't matter. That's not the point that I'm making. Where is this? You now there sitting with Captain van Aert.
I have to object, but I was contemplating not. What counsel put to the witness, it's semantics, but it's not right. It's impossible to say in Afrikaans, ek hoor die vrou gille.
Ja, dankie.
It's impossible to do. Ek hoor die vrou gil means plural or singular.
Ja.
But you can't say ek hoor die vrou gille. That cannot be, and that was what was put.
Maybe that's not the point that I'm driving to. Can I make the point?
Yes.
That was now, you've got a doctorate, it's not immediately after the incident, you sit with a very experienced investigating officer, and the very least, I would have expected to say, Captain van Aert, let me tell you, this time around, it was blood curdling, it was the anxiety, there was a build-up of anxiety. It's not there. All it says, ek hoor die vrou gil. You agree?
I'm explaining to the lady. I'm explaining to the court today what are the emotions.
To the balcony again, you see that?
Yes, milady, I see that.
Ek hoor die vrou gil.
I heard the woman scream.
You see that?
Yes, milady, I see that.
what we don't see like we go to your previous parts in your statement, we don't see the plural, gulle, we don't see blood curdling, we don't see a build-up in anxiety. It is a plain, ek hoor die vrou gil, meaning I hear her scream. That's all. Do you agree?
Milady, with that I heard, the facts I gave here in this testimony of mine.
But if he had given the emotions to Captain van Aert, he would have reduced that to writing and he would have put it in outside.
Milady,
He's sitting here.
Milady, I'm sure Captain van Aert, if he gets to testify, will be able to testify my emotions that evening, and that it was emotional for me what I heard.
It's not about your emotions. It's about what you're telling him. That's what I'm driving to. It is what you told him at the time and what you did not tell him. Madam, I'm going to take you to paragraph.
Lady, I'm sure if we deal with the statement, the witness should have a statement in front of her.
It's not in front.
I think it was sent to for the benefit of the interpreter.
I think both the interpreter and the witness ought to have a statement.
Yeah, if they can both have a look at it, then I don't have a problem.
I thought she was working through the interpreter that one or two statements is the same. Thank you, madam. I want you to look at paragraph 6. It says that your husband went